Part 2 of The Real Mother Goose. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. This reading by Allison Hester of Athens, Georgia. The Real Mother Goose by Anonymous. Part 2. Banbury Cross. Ride a cock horse to Banbury Cross, to see an old lady upon a white horse. Rings on her fingers and bells on her toes, she shall have music wherever she goes. End of Banbury Cross. The Man in Our Town. There was a man in our town, and he was wondrous wise. He jumped into a bramble bush and scratched out both his eyes. But when he saw his eyes were out, with all his might and main, he jumped into another bush and scratched 'em in again. End of The Man in Our Town. ABC. Great A, little a, bouncing B. The cat's in the cupboard and can't see me. End of ABC. A needle and thread. Old Mother Twitchit had but one eye, and a long tail which she let fly, and every time she went through a gap, a bit of her tail she left in a trap. End of A Needle and a Thread. For every evil. For every evil under the sun there is a remedy, or there is none. If there be one, seek till you find it. If there be none, never mind it. End of For Every Evil. Cushy Cow. Cushy cow bonny, let down thy milk, and I will give thee a gown of silk, a gown of silk and a silver tree, if thou wilt let down thy milk to me. End of Cushy Cow. Seesaw. Seesaw, Margery Daw, sold her bed and lay upon straw. End of Seesaw. Georgy Porgy. Georgy Porgy, pudding and pie, kissed the girls and made them cry. When the boys came out to play, Georgy Porgy ran away. End of Georgy Porgy. Wee Willie Winkie. Wee Willie Winkie runs through the town, upstairs and downstairs in his nightgown, rapping at the window, crying through the lock, "Are the children in their beds? Now it's 8 o'clock." End of Wee Willie Winkie. Robin a Bobbin. Robin a Bobbin bent his bow, shot at a pigeon and killed a crow. End of Robin a Bobbin. John Smith. Is John Smith within? Yes, that he is. Can he set a shoe? Aye, marry two. Here a nail, there a nail, tick tack too. End of John Smith. About the bush. About the bush, Willie, about the beehive. About the bush, Willie, I'll meet thee alive. End of About the Bush. 5 toes. This little pig went to market. This little pig stayed home. This little pig had roast beef. This little pig had none. This little pig said, "Wee, wee, I can't find my way home." End of 5 toes. 3 blind mice. 3 blind mice, see how they run. They all ran after the farmer's wife, who cut their tails with a carving knife. Did you ever see such a thing in your life as 3 blind mice? End of 3 blind mice. Simple Simon. Simple Simon met a pieman going to the fair. Says Simple Simon to the pieman, "Let me taste your ware." Says the pieman to Simple Simon, "Show me first your penny." Says Simple Simon to the pieman, "Indeed, I have not any." Simple Simon went a fishing for to catch a whale. All the water he could find was in his mother's pail. Simple Simon went to look If plums grew on a thistle, he pricked his fingers very much, which made poor Simon whistle. He went to catch a dicky bird, and thought he could not fail, because he had a little salt to put upon its tail. He went for water with a sieve, but soon it ran all through, and now poor Simple Simon bids you all adieu. End of Simple Simon. Dr. Foster. Dr. Foster went to Gloucester in a shower of rain. He stepped in a puddle up to his middle and never went there again. End of Dr. Foster. A little man. There was a little man, and he had a little gun, and his bullets were made of lead, lead, lead. He went to the brook and saw a little duck, and shot it right through the head, head. He carried it home to his old wife Joan, and bade her a fire to make, to roast the little duck he had shot in the brook, and he'd go and fetch the drake. The drake was a swimming with his curly tail. The little man made his mark. He let off his gun, but he fired too soon, and the drake flew away with a quack, quack, quack. End of Little Man. Jerry Hall. Jerry Hall, he was so small, a rat could eat him, hat and all. End of Jerry Hall. Lengthening days. As the days grow longer, the storms grow stronger. End of Lengthening Days. Diddle, diddle, dumpling. Diddle, diddle, dumpling, my son John went to bed with his breeches on. One stocking off, one stocking on. Diddle, diddle, dumpling, my son John. End of Diddle, diddle, dumpling. The Black Hen. Hickety, pickety, my black hen, she lays eggs for gentlemen. Gentlemen come every day to see what my black hen doth lay. End of the Black Hen. The Mist. A hill full, a hole full, yet you cannot catch a bowl full. End of the Mist. Miss Muffet. Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet, eating of curds and whey. There came a big spider and sat down beside her and frightened Miss Muffet away. End of Miss Muffet. Curly Locks. Curly locks, wilt thou be mine? Thou shalt not wash the dishes, nor yet feed the swine, but sit on a cushion and sew a fine seam, and feed upon strawberries, sugar, and cream. End of Curly Locks. A Candle. Little Nanny Etticoat in a white petticoat and a red nose. The longer she stands, the shorter she grows. End of a Candle. Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men cannot put Humpty Dumpty together again. End of Humpty Dumpty. Pins. See a pin and pick it up. All the day you'll have good luck. See a pin and let it lay. Bad luck you'll have all the day. End of Pins. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I caught a fish alive. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But I let it go again. Why did you let it go? Because it bit my finger so. Which finger did it bite? The little one upon the right. End of 1, 2, 3. The Dove and the Wren. The dove says, "Coo, coo, what shall I do? I can scarce maintain two." "Pooh, pooh," says the wren, "I've got 10, and keep them all like gentlemen." End of the Dove and the Wren. Shall we go a-shearing? Old woman, shall we go a-shearing? "Speak a little louder, sir, I'm very thick of hearing." old woman, shall I kiss you dearly?" "Thank you, kind sir, I hear you very clearly." Shall we go a-shearing? Old Mother Hubbard. Old Mother Hubbard went to the cupboard to give her poor dog a bone. But when she got there the cupboard was bare, and so the poor dog had none. She went to the baker's to buy him some bread. When she came back the dog was dead. She went to the undertaker's to buy him a coffin. When she got back the dog was laughing. She took a clean dish to get him some tripe. When she came back he was smoking a pipe. She went to the alehouse to get him some beer. When she came back the dog sat in a chair. She went to the tavern for some white wine and red. When she came back the dog stood on his head. She went to the hatter's to buy him a hat. When she came back he was feeding the cat. She went to the barber's to buy him a wig. When she came back he was dancing a jig. She went to the fruiterer's to buy him some fruit. When she came back he was playing the flute. She went to the tailor's to buy him a coat. When she came back he was riding a goat. She went to the cobbler's to buy him some shoes. When she came back he was reading the news. She went to the seamster's to buy him some linen. When she came back the dog was a-spinning. She went to the hosier's to buy him some hose. When she came back he was dressed in his clothes. The dame made a curtsy, the dog made a bow. The dame said, "Your servant." The dog said, "Bow wow." Old Mother Hubbard. Goosey, goosey, gander. Goosey, goosey, gander, whither dost thou wander? Upstairs and downstairs, and in my lady's chamber. There I met an old man who wouldn't say his prayers. I took him by the left leg and threw him down the stairs. Goosey, goosey, gander. Bluebell Boy. I had a little boy and called him Bluebell. Gave him a little work, he did it very well. I bade him go upstairs to bring me a gold pen, and coal scuttle fell he up to his little chin. He went to the garden to pick a little sage. He tumbled on his nose and fell into a rage. He went to the cellar to draw a little beer, and quickly did return to say there was none there. Bluebell Boy. Why may not I love Johnny? Johnny shall have a new bonnet, and Johnny shall go to the fair, and Johnny shall have a blue ribbon to tie up his bonny brown hair. And why may not I love Johnny? And why may not Johnny love me? And why may not I love Johnny as well as another body? And here's a leg for a stocking, and here's a foot for a shoe, and he has a kiss for his daddy, and two for his mommy, I trow. And why may not I love Johnny? And why may not Johnny love me? And why may not I love Johnny as well as another body? Why may not I love Johnny? Jack Jelf. Little Jack Jelf was put on the shelf because he could not spell pie. When his Aunt Mrs. Grace saw his sorrowful face, she could not help saying, "Oh, fie!" And since Master Jelf was put on the shelf because he could not spell pie, let him stand there so grim, and no more about him, for I wish him a very good bye. Jack Jelf. Jack Sprat. Jack Sprat could eat no fat, his wife could eat no lean, and so betwixt them both they licked the platter clean. Jack Sprat. Daffodils. Daffy-down-dilly has come to town in a yellow petticoat and a green gown. Daffodils. Hush-a-bye. Hush-a-bye, baby, lie still with thy daddy. Thy mammy has gone to the mill to get some meal to bake a cake, so pray, my dear baby, lie still. Hush-a-bye. The girl in the lane. The girl in the lane that couldn't speak plain cried gobble, gobble, gobble. The man on the hill that couldn't stand still went hobble, hobble, hobble. End of The Girl in the Lane. Hush-a-bye. Hush-a-bye, baby, Daddy is near. Mamma is a lady, and that's very clear. End of Hush-a-bye. Nancy Dawson. Nancy Dawson was so fine, she wouldn't get up to serve the swine. She lies in bed till 8 or 9, so it's oh, poor Nancy Dawson. And do ye ken Nancy Dawson, honey? The wife who sells the barley, honey? She won't get up to feed her swine. And do ye ken Nancy Dawson, honey? End of Nancy Dawson. Handy Pandy. Handy Pandy, Jack-a-dandy, loves plum cake and sugar candy. He bought some at a grocer's shop, and out he came, hop, hop, hop. End of Handy Pandy. The Alphabet. A, B, C, and D. Pray, playmates, agree. E, F, and G. Well, so it shall be. J, K, and L. In peace we will dwell. M, N, and O. To play let us go. P, Q, R, and S. Love may we possess. W, X, and Y. Will not quarrel or die. Z and ampersand. Go to school at command. End of the alphabet. Jack and Jill. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after. Then up Jack got, and off did trot, as fast as he could caper, to old Dame Dob, who patched his knob with vinegar and brown paper. End of Jack and Jill. Dance to your daddy. Dance to your daddy, my bonny laddie. Dance to your daddy, my bonny lamb. You shall get a fishy on a little dishy. You shall get a fishy when the boat comes home. End of Dance to your daddy. One misty, moisty morning. One misty, moisty morning, when cloudy was the weather, I chanced to meet an old man, clothed in all leather. He began to compliment, and I began to grin. How do you do? And how do you do? And how do you do again? End of One misty, moisty morning. Robin Hood and Little John. Robin Hood is in the mickle wood. Little John, he to the town is gone. Robin Hood, telling his beads, all in the greenwood, among the green weeds. Little John, if he comes no more, Robin Hood, we shall fret full sore. End of Robin Hood and Little John. Rain. Rain, rain, go to Spain, and never come back again. End of Rain. The Robins. A robin and a robin's son once went to town to buy a bun. They couldn't decide on plum or plain, and so they went back home again. End of the Robins. The Old Woman from France. There came an old woman from France, who taught grown-up children to dance, but they were so stiff, she sent them home in a sniff, this sprightly old woman from France. The Old Man. There was an old man in a velvet coat. He kissed a maid and gave her a groat. The groat it was cracked and would not go. Ah, old man, do you serve me so? End of Old Man. Teeth and Gums. 30 white horses upon a red hill. Now they tramp, now they champ, now they stand still. End of Teeth and Gums. End of Part 2 of Mother Goose.